right, you are live.
All right, thanks, Keely. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Public Works Committee meeting for April 12th. Hope you all had a great weekend. So since we do have a quorum, can I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes of February 16th? Mr. Gillum moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Stannard,
Second.
any discussion or anything we need to correct about those minutes? Nope, sounds good. Okay, so minutes are approved. First item of old business, update on the landscape project. So I'm sure you guys have seen some progress that's being made now that we're past the irrigation stage of that and the irrigation is up and running properly. We've started to see some vertical development with some plant material getting installed. So right now we've got all of the trees installed. We're working through we've got about 30,000 smaller plants that are getting installed. The majority of it is done. We are well past substantial completion for all the plant material getting in the ground. And right now it's just kind of a matter of that stuff filling in, and it's got plenty of time to fill in before we start getting a bunch of cars on the parkway. I think so right now, this week, well, final walkthrough is going to be next week, and that will be town staff, contractor, and the landscape architect. We'll be doing a final walkthrough to make sure that everything is completed to our satisfaction and completed the way it was per the design. Are there any discussion points or questions that we would like to engage with as far as the parkway landscaping goes? Yes, Mr. Gillum. You're muted. There we go.
Excuse me. The part of the bike trail that we've talked about as being somewhat dangerous, the curve between Fresh Fields and the field that we're using for staging. We had talked about putting a robust planting between the bike path and the road, and maybe even if necessary a fence, depending on how it looked. All I see there now is some Spartina grass. Is there going to be something else there, or what? How do we? Are we going to have something robust there, or was that not possible?
No, so the physical guardrail, we don't have enough room to meet the AASHTO standards to be able to put a guardrail there. So Stephanie and I have talked with the landscape architects, and they're going to be giving us some ideas for some more plant material to put there, some thicker vegetation. Right now we kind of want to get the project done the way it was designed before we come back and spend time on any ancillary kind of installation. So yes, we have talked with them, and we're planning on putting in some heavier vegetation, more than just the Spartina grass that's in there.
Thank you.
Brian, in
Yes,
that
sir.
area, are you still trying to acquire an easement from the resort for more property?
Stephanie, you're muted. Okay, she's not. Yes, I believe Stephanie, can you speak to whether or not about the easement for the resort or from the resort? I don't think she's paying attention right now. The last conversation that we had was that we were getting it, we were having a conversation with them to acquire more easement. I'm not sure where we are on that at the moment, and perhaps when Stephanie gets back, we'll be able to get an update on that. So we can circle back around to that, because she was the last person to talk with anybody from the resort. So we'll see. When was the last time we talked about this? What was the latest on that topic?
You guys were looking at it somehow.
Okay. Well, when she joins back with us, then we'll get an update from her. Anything else regarding the parkway
The
landscaping?
Parkway? Oh, no.
The parkway landscaping. All right. Hearing nothing, we'll go ahead and move over to the update on Beachwalker Drive. So, as you know, we've contracted with Kimley Horn to do a study of Beachwalker Drive, because we've had some issues along the roadway pertaining to traffic and getting backed up towards the intersection, which is kind of, you know, a really big issue, especially right now. I don't know if you guys have been traveling on and off the island, peak hours in the morning and then peak hours in the afternoon, but there's a lot of traffic and it's getting backed up heavily. I was going onto the island this morning, and at about 9:15, 9:20, it was backed up to the bridge. So Kimley Horn is doing a kind of like a traffic study on the island, and right now we're waiting on GEL is conducting a survey, and they're going to be on site tomorrow doing a survey to give us our right of ways, and we'll be passing that information along over to Dylan Turner with Kimley Horn, who's going to use that to then pass on some ideas about what we can do to improve Beachwalker Drive. And yeah, really starting with that intersection at the Parkway and Beachwalker Drive, we're hoping that he'll be able to come up with something to help alleviate traffic on Beachwalker Drive. And then this is also kind of be like a minor improvement project for Beachwalker Drive as well. Yes, Mr. Gillen.
Ryan, is the backup due to getting passes at the front gate with visitors and people who don't have the barcode?
I think the backup is happening for maybe a couple reasons. One, there are vehicles that end up in the wrong lane, like you're talking about. I think there's people that don't have passes that end up in the right lane, and then it takes a minute or so for them to be directed around the backside and out through up to the left lane to receive their pass. I think another issue is just the amount of volume that's going through the gate at those peak hours. We've got, you know, everyone that's working on the island, all the contractors are coming in on that time, along with right, visitors, and then residents that travel on and off the island at those times too. So it's kind of twofold, just with the volume and maybe people utilizing improper lanes, whether they know it or not. So apart from having a big flashing sign that says visitors use left lane, or vehicles without passes use left lane, this is why we've got Kimley Horn hoping that they can come up with some ideas to mitigate that traffic. And then also too, any ideas from the committee will be well received as well.
Is Kimberly Horn working with Mr. Connor and Kika?
No, we have not heard. We have not heard from them. In fact, we were talking about that backup at the gate this morning. We've got a sign that goes in the middle of the inbound side that instructs people which lane to go in. The problem is people keep running over the sign. There is a sign a little further back up, but it's small and people don't see it. But we also have noticed just recently, the amount of traffic has increased on the island. We've got 105 houses under construction now. The ARB reviewed 12 more last Wednesday. So,
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Kika do I'm not aware of how big the study was that you folks did on the gate and the intersection, et cetera, about 2 years ago?
we did a study on the Parkway and Kilo Beach Drive.
Okay,
And that's what resulted in the new striping at that intersection. And in fact,
Correct.
we've had it revisited and they're going to add a little bit more striping to make it a little clearer as to what to do there. But we did not do a study on the main gate entrance.
oh, I thought you did, okay.
But now we are in the middle of doing intersection improvements there. And if you want me to, I'll send you the drawing that we've prepared to try to help out that intersection a little bit. It's still not good. There's too many conflicting movements there.
Yeah, that's a total nightmare, period. No,
Maybe the current study will come up with this, but if visitors to the island are not a problem certain times of the day, are not present as much certain times of the day when we're having these backup with traffic, perhaps we could make both lanes coming into the island open to contractors and people with barcodes and restrict that lane for visitors later during the time when visitors are more present.
Yeah, well,
Brian?
so
Sorry.
both lanes can receive vehicles with passes, and it's just only one lane, that the inside lane is the only one that can take visitors without passes. So what happens is all of the vehicles that have passes get in the right lane because they know that they're not going to get stopped by somebody getting a pass in the left lane. So both lanes can wave through vehicles that have passes.
Well, I realize that, but if for example, does it ever happen that the inside lane is, I don't guess it would. If it's clear, people are going to jump in it, right? On that inside lane.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, Jim. And I think, and Will probably can speak more of this since he works for Kika. I think it's a great idea in theory that during the peak, and that's why I'm sorry the deputy came in, because we had a deputy out there this morning and he was able to give me some recommendations that I have talked with Brian with, that the town may end up putting deputy out there until we can figure out how to fix this permanently or at least alleviate it. But yeah, what he's saying is that from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., people are basically guests who already have passes who checked in on Saturday, contractors, employees, everyone's getting the right lanes. They know they'll be waved through. They're afraid to get into the left lane because while they can be waved through, if they get someone there who needs a pass and they're sitting there waiting for someone to get a pass. And so ideally, they don't want to get in the left lane because they're nervous they may get stopped. So we'll have to try to temporarily, through our deputy who was there this morning, he was actually doing traffic control there at the intersection. And he came in with some recommendations, but ultimately he recommended that we bring in our extra deputies to that start Memorial Weekend, to bring them starting the week before Easter and helping with Beach Walker Drive traffic and the intersection there before the gate. So I'll probably recommending that to council to amend our contract to help out until we can get something permanently or figure out how to fix it. Will, I'll let you go ahead and comment since you're with Kika. You may have more information or insight.
This is Warren. I would like to propose somehow the town and Kika get together, form a committee or whatever you want to form, and review, because it's the gate, it's the stop signs, it's a nightmare intersection to fix in the first place. But see if they can't come up with some permanent solution. Yes, you can bring in the police, which is a great idea, and everything, but that's not going to solve it. It's just going to get a nightmare. And you ought to see it leaving at night. At night, you got them backed up, all the way back up over the hill by the golf course. So it's a major Kika town issue. And somehow, I think something's got to be formed where those two get together, as much as I hate to, and try to come up with some kind of solution for this thing, the best you can do, and it's not going to be great. Thank you.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to maybe join forces when we get some information back from Kimley Horn. Love to hear what they have to say about, regarding that intersections and some ideas to alleviate that, and hopefully they're not telling us the only thing we can do is put in a third lane to access the island, but I think they'll be able to come up with some good ideas, and at that point, maybe we will get together and form a little subcommittee to
I think
talk.
something's got to be done. We're just kicking the can down the road.
Oh, agreed. Something does need to be done, and I think we're taking the first steps. Mr. Gillum.
Thank you.
Some areas go to a staged workday. And I'm sure Kimberly Horn, if they think that is viable, they'll mention it. But say if we ask the contractors to stage their workday where some come in at 7, some at 8, some at 9, that's bound to help a little bit, but I don't know how feasible that would be for them.
And that would I think fall under Kika's jurisdiction. We can't.
Well, the staging, not necessarily. It's just Kika's jurisdiction to set how early they can come in. But if they're staged, the only thing from a contractor standpoint is those that come in, say at 10 o'clock, ultimately everyone has to be off the island. Is it by 5 or 7 for Kika contractors? So that would be the only.
Our
Huh?
hours for contractors,
Yeah,
Monday through Friday, are 7 to 7.
yeah. So
Saturday is 8 to 5.
Saturday's 8 to 5. So if it's staged, it's just a matter of those contractors who may start a little bit later, they would only have, they will lose an hour or two, but it may be, that may, based on their work, that might be okay. But I think it's just a matter of, these are their hours that Kika can allow them on the island. When they come on the island, it's up to them.
I think we might want to start with a very specific traffic study at the gate to determine
Yes.
what the capacities are at the various times during the day, and then take that information and run with it and see what we can do, and maybe get somebody like Kimley Horn or Stantec or somebody like that to make some suggestions for us as to what to do there. Because
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
like
what-
y'all, I'm stumped.
That's what the study is. We have them looking at really 2 parts. One is Beach Walker Drive and the other one is the intersection there.
Okay,
So they are, the scope of services is really kind of, that optional that we're paying for is the intersection there at Beach Walker and Parkway.
all right. That'll be very interesting
And
to see what they come up with.
Brian can share that, their scope with you guys. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but Brian can email it out if you're interested in seeing it.
Yeah,
I would
I'll be
like to
happy
see
to do
that.
that.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, I'll send that to
Thank
the whole
Brian.
committee. Yes, Mr. Gillum.
Is there any way that the guards at the gate could be any more efficient with doing what they need to do to get guests onto the island?
I can't speak to their, sorry, go ahead, Will.
Yeah, we recently revamped the stickers and the passes. Exactly how that's done now, I'm not sure. I would have to get Tony Elder to update me on that, but they just went to a great deal of effort to do that, to make it more efficient. I don't know that it's working though.
Yeah, so perhaps we could, depending on what we get back from this study, it might be that Public Works Committee or whoever can have a meeting with the gate and Tony and figure out what their security protocols are and what kind of like their spiel is for getting people through the gate, and coordinating efforts with them to see if they can help our solution. If there's a way, I don't know exactly what their process is. Yes, sir.
One thing, we're probably putting the cart before the horse here. I think Will's suggestion is stellar, but maybe we have two cars being processed at once coming through the gate. It would require an extra guard perhaps, but just a thought.
That might not be a bad idea either. Definitely something that we could take back to Tony. Let's see, I'm gonna write that down.
I should see Tony in the morning and tomorrow morning, and I'll initiate that conversation, see where we stand on it.
Okay, thanks, Will. Okay, anything else? So again, just to go back, we're getting the survey done. Crew's going to be out there tomorrow. It's going to take them a couple of days to complete the survey. And then after the survey is done, we should be receiving all the information in about a week. So once we get that, I'm going to pass that survey information over to Kimley Horn, and they'll be able to get the ball rolling on getting us some information back. And when they do, we'll be updating you guys on what we get back. So,
Brian, are
Yes,
your
sir.
traffic counts working?
I'm sorry?
Your traffic counts working?
Yes.
Could
Yes,
I get
I can pull those up and get
I'd like the last 3 months.
an estimate. Yep, I'll get that over to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Gillum.
Brian and Stephanie and all, I'm going to have to take a little break from here at about 10:30. I've got a visitor coming, but I'll come back as soon as I can.
Okay, no problem. Is there anything else about the Beachwalker Drive portion of the agenda?
You mentioned the last meeting on Beachwalker Drive, you're going to put tabletops. Is that still an issue?
That's something that Kimley Horn's looking at as well. So what they did recommend immediately in our walkthrough was putting, I forget exactly what it's called, but it's basically a sign with a light on it that pedestrians can push that will flash to alert cars that somebody is crossing. And so while that may not be a permanent solution, it might be something to make that intersection a little bit safer for the time being. So the tabletop and that crosswalk is something that they're going to be looking at and giving us ideas for.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, jumping over to new business, the big Key Island sign at the main gate. So this is something that we just discussed and tried to get information for to get a new sign right there, because I'm sure you've all seen it. It could use a little, at least some TLC at the very least. Right now we got a couple quotes back, and they're a little bit on, some of them were on the high side, and some of them didn't. Well, none of them met our timeline of being able to get this done before the golf tournament. So the council tabled it for right now, and we're going to revisit getting a new sign after the tournament's over. And this way we'll feel very comfortable that we've done our due diligence of researching and making sure that we've got a good understanding of what this new sign means, and making sure that we can get the most competitive pricing that we can get. So we're gonna revisit that after the golf tournament. However, before the golf tournament, what we're gonna do is give that just a really good cleaning. We're gonna get it pressure washed, and if we need to, depending on what it looks like after the pressure wash, we might have to restain it and redo the black lettering just to get it looking as good as we can before the golf tournament starts. Mr. DeStefano had made a suggestion about the approach that we take with the new sign, which I haven't personally seen it. I'm going to go look at it today. The Sandcastle has a new style sign that he suggested we look at that and mimic it possibly. And I think it's going to be, the way he describes it, it's going to be a lot more cost effective and potentially a lot easier to do. And basically we could use the existing sign, flip over those, basically the signs with the lettering on it, stain it, and put some, I think, raised metal lettering on that side of it. So something that we can look at. I'm going to go take a look at that sign today just to make sure I have an understanding for it. But yeah, the sign is going to get cleaned up for pre-golf tournament, and then we'll redo it post-golf tournament. Any thoughts or ideas, Mr. Stannard?
No, hey, the sign's the sign.
Okay, good. Well, it's going to be a cleaner sign.
Thank you.
So Stephanie, if we could go back for 1 sec, Mr. Stannard I couldn't give him a very accurate update on whether or not we're still pursuing getting some extra easement on the parkway from the resort.
We already received it. It was approved under the former council.
They did approve it under the former council.
It was approved
Okay.
in November or December meeting.
Was that 10 feet
I got
or 20?
20, or I got 20 or 25, I don't recall.
20 or
That's
20?
great.
We've acquired it and it's recorded with the county.
Okay.
I appreciate it. So
Okay,
then
so-
the bike path could be fixed later on sometime.
It could be relocated further back, at least within that 25-foot, easement.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Okay, well, that's what we've got on the agenda. And I guess I'll open it up to any committee members' comments, and it looks like that's just Mr. Connor and Mr. Stannard.
I just want to thank the town for getting the pavement done on Betsy Curran out there. I was away and I got back and I saw it was all repaved. I want to thank everybody for their hard work on that. Thank you. It looks good.
Thank you. Will, anything from you, sir?
No, I think I'm good. We finally got that leisure trail widened from Main Gate to First Flyway. And I'm just sitting here resting.
Yeah, that was a good project. That looks really good. Happy y'all were able to get that knocked out. Seemed like it went pretty fast too.
Yeah, it went as fast as we could possibly make it go.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, just in time for getting a lot of usage out of it with this really great weather.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, if that's all, I think Mr. Gillum.
Brian, I got two questions of you.
Yes,
One
sir.
of them is, why is the crutch in back of you?
I'm sorry.
You're
Why
correct.
is the crutch in back of you?
Because I haven't taken it out of my office. I injured my foot and was utilizing it for a while. So now it's
Okay.
just here just in case.
Okay, really quick, like, are you guys still moving the trash facility?
No, actually, you might be happy to know that we're not going to be putting it on town property. We're going to really look and see what all we can do at the existing site.
Okay, one quick thing I found out while I was on vacation, the new vehicles, their insulation for their wires has a rice byproduct in it, and the rats love it. I know because we got hit last year for $1,200 on our car, and a lot of people are getting hit.
We've
So,
had that problem since I've been here. At the old town hall, we had rats and squirrels because we were with the Toyotas. We were told that it has like a licorice or some sort of base. And we've had to change probably we haven't had the problems since we've been here at the new town hall, I don't believe, but we had problems with the old town hall. They're just everywhere. So we've known that problem for about the last 5 years.
it's a rice byproduct, by the way.
Okay,
So whatever, environmentally sound.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, we won't be
that's it
bringing
then.
we won't be bringing anything to attract rats and mice over here anymore.
No, I mean, I just, that was something that I read about
Mhm.
and found it interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, I'm done. I thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Well, so it looks like Mr. Gillum isn't back yet, but if there's no other comments,
Just
can
need
I?
a motion to adjourn.
Right.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion from Mr. Stannard. Is there a second?
Will.
I second.
Will.
We got it.
Warren will first and second his own motion. So Will seconds. So we will adjourn this meeting. Thank you all so much for joining, and